pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let me do roll call real quick. All right, Thomas Warren's here. Mr. Young.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dell. Mr. Dell. Okay, I don't hear Mr. Dell. Mr. Andrews.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McCory. Mr. McCory. Don't hear anything. And Mr. Bond. Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond, you, sir.
Present.
As we're short members. A couple quick things before we start. If anybody is here for PB 20-21, which is 119 Tweed Boulevard, it will not be heard tonight. It is being postponed till, I believe, September 9th. So if anybody is here for that application, it will not be read. With that said, one more thing. I don't know, this is maybe our 5th, 6th meeting, virtual meeting or whatever. And I have to applaud the people in the building department. I think they've done an outrageously fantastic job. I don't want to mention any names because they know who are doing all the work. I mean, we're getting this stuff as quick as possible. I know it's been hard for them and they're under a lot of pressure, but I really, and I think all the members of the board and whoever else is on this line feel the same way. So, I mean, I really thank all the people in the building department. You folks done a fantastic job and keep it up.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I also want to shout out to Matt Lenahan from IT. He's on every call with us, making sure there's no technical difficulties.
Well, he couldn't move people around on the screen. So
Well, we'll have to write to GoToMeeting developers and get that fixed for the future.
All right, okay. Okay, let's go to work. Okay, PB 20-33, Orangetown Shopping Center, installation of electric vehicle charging equipment plan. I think Julia Ingram and Kimberly Horn, are either of them here?
Julia Ingram is here, and I also have Marissa with me as well.
Okay,
Good
fine.
evening.
Okay, would you like to present your application?
We actually do not have a presentation.
Okay.
I'm prepared
No
to answer
problem.
any questions.
Okay, no problem. We're kind of going through this. So we'll go right into the consultant's reports and we'll see if anybody has any questions on it. Okay, Office of Building Zoning Planning, Jane Slavin, July 20th. She has four items. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Bruce Peters, July 17th. They have one comment, which is this department has no comments. We have Booker Engineering, July 21st. Their drainage review recommendations. It appears that the applicant is proposing an increase in impervious surface below the threshold, which requires post-construction stormwater mitigation measures. We therefore recommend that the Orangetown Center electric vehicle charge plan be approved for drainage subject to the above project comments, of which there are 4. Rockland County Department of Planning, June 25th. They have 6. It's a memo from Michael Betterman, Chief Fire Inspector, June 24th. He just has a narrative. Rockland County Health, July 7th. Okay, they just have a letter. Rockland County Highway Department, July 9th. They have 2 items. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1 has 2 items. I also have from Rockland County Planning Board receipt that Orangetown Planning Board be lead agent. That's from the Rockland County Planning Department. Lead agent from Rockland County Health Department. And I also have the ZBA decision of September 21st, 2016, and a short EAF. Cheryl, is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Young, questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple notes on the
Bill, you're breaking up.
Rockland County Highway Department letter
Okay, I didn't hear you because you were breaking up.
that recognized Town of Clarkstown Planning Board. On their letter, I just want that correct. Sorry, Mr. Warren. On the Rockland County Highway.
Yes, it says that, oh, why do they do this? Jane, is there any reason why they said this? Rockland County Highway says that Clarkstown Planning should be lead agent on this?
I guess it's a typo.
Okay, I mean, it's nowhere near the town.
Nowhere near it.
Do we have to
We'll
do
call it
anything?
Yeah, I think
Well,
we
the
can,
case of COVID typo.
Okay,
yeah,
do we have to
I don't
do
think
anything with that or just delete it?
I don't think we need to delete the letter, but it's clearly a typo. Clarkstown has nothing whatsoever to do with this project. There's no way that they could possibly be lead agency. So I think we can just treat it as a typo.
Okay, I don't want to delete the letter. I would just, when we come to that one individual item, we'll just delete that particular item.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Rick. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Mandel,
Mr. Mandel here. That's the second time they've done that with Clarkstown putting it in. Let's typing up their forms and not checking their addresses. Just a question, so just get a little clarification. Now, on the short EAF, you see you transitioning from 6 parking stalls and you're going to change it into 4 charging stalls. So that will reduce the number of parking spaces from 376. So now you have 370. So I guess you're going to be going back to the ZBA for another variance on this? Or have you added other parking spots that wasn't shown up in the narrative?
I didn't understand most of it. What I think possibly the little bit that I understood, because you come in garbled to me, is that they do have to go to get a variance on the parking.
Yeah, what I'm asking for is, there's a reduction of 6 parking spots? No, if not, did they add additional parking spots?
Yeah,
There's a reduction of 1 parking spot.
If you want from, but they're removing 6 spots, putting the 4 charging stalls. According to their,
We are planning on taking up 5 parking stalls, install 4 electric vehicle charging stalls. So it's just a reduction of 1 parking stall.
okay,
okay.
that clarifies that, but you change it on the forms. I know the previous traffic study said there's sufficient parking to proceed, so no further at this time. I'll wait for any comments from the public on that. Can you hear me any better, Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Mandel.
Can you hear me any better now, or we have?
No, you're very garbled, unless I'm the only one. I don't know, does anybody else have a problem hearing him? Because it seems it's a little garbled.
Yes, there is
Yes.
a problem. It's almost like it's a blown speaker. It sounds like on his, something wrong with the
Right.
mic, the reception of the mic.
That's
All right.
what I'm trying to get Bill Young before.
Okay, you've had it for the last few meetings. It's been getting progressively worse. This is the worst it has been. All right, so right now, are you done, Mr. Mandel?
Well, yes, at this time, thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to make note that Mr. Dell has arrived to the meeting, so he is logged in. The only one we're missing right now is Mr. McCory. Okay, Mr. Sweeney, questions or comments?
I have no further comment at this time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dell, questions or comments? This is on,
Thank you.
this is the electric vehicle charging plans.
No, I'm aware of that, and I had previously looked at the plans. I just had a minor computer glitch here. First thing is on the plans, you describe a wooden fence is described. It's not really a wooden fence, it's a barrier. So there's a big difference. So when you think of a wooden fence, usually you're thinking of a stock fence or something, but it's just nothing more than a safety barrier near the retaining wall. Minor point. Biggest question I have is regarding, if you go to sheet C-5, it just describes, what is it saying here? It's not really describing what the wall material is of this. It just seems to say equipment enclosure and fence post typical. I assume it's grounded. It obviously would have to be, but what are we talking about here? Is there anyone here to answer that?
Yes, there is, sir. This is Marissa Gideon. It is actually a fence. It is a poly fence. It's a plastic fence, essentially. That is installed, including in addition to the retaining wall that is being installed. And we are also putting a handrail barrier for protection for the retaining wall because of the height difference. So did I answer your question? I'm not sure. On D4 is additional information on the fence. It has the color of the fence. It's a grayish color.
D4?
On D4.
All right, let's see. Going to that now. Okay. 1 inch gap between, let's just, I'm sorry. It was not sequentialized in a manner I'm used to. Pardon me while I just rip this apart. Take a moment. Okay, that seems to be adequate. Is there any exterior lighting planned for this?
I don't believe so. I don't believe we're adding an additional light. Let me just back check
Well,
this.
there's one thing that I think should be done at this time. When this came back for much of the renovations, we'd required that the chain link fence be replaced, and I think we said from the entirety. However, there was a section of chain link fence that was there last time I looked, starting the building and coming out this way. I think you should take the same type of fencing that you have on the rest of the rear perimeter, that would be obviously on the east side, and continue this all the way over to this unit. Would that be a problem?
I'm trying to, are you talking about the transformer? Would you like the transformer
I'm sorry,
included in the?
the transformer area near closest to the drive-in for the CVS.
So let me, perhaps, I'm going to share my screen, or is that a capability I could do on here? Do I have control to share my
Yes,
screen?
I have to allow that. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Marissa Gideon.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, you are now a presenter.
Okay, thank you. not sure if you're seeing my plan set.
No, but I can pretty much describe it to you. On the extreme northeast corner of the building, you have the CVS drive-through. Is that correct? And there's a dumpster. Yes,
So,
you see the drive-through. Go to the south. Yes, right in that area. There is a partial fence there, which is more than 50 years old and destroyed. I think this is an opportunity because the rest of the fence, which goes around the entire rear of the building and actually comes out even beyond the post office, is a new chain link fence. And just for security and obviously appearance and safety factors, because that is a fairly steep little area you're in for that
Yeah.
hill, just extend the existing fence, which is on the extreme northeast corner of this building in a northerly direction until it connects with your electrical.
okay, so we want to close up this gap here so that we don't have
Yeah,
any
well, it's a little bit
potential.
more, than what you're showing. But yes, it's probably back somewhere a little bit beyond. There's a dumpster in there and a few other things. And I think
Yeah.
it makes sense to enclose that. Otherwise, you might be having people doing whatever behind your electrical equipment.
Okay, in this small space. I'll go back and look at the survey and see where that starts and see how we can accommodate.
It's only a distance of about 80 feet. I'm not talking about a great amount of area. But I was surprised when this came in originally that little bit of fence was still left up there. Maybe it was the way the contract was written.
Okay.
Other than that, it looks like you've done a decent job. You sure you need the 8-foot height? I guess you'd need for security purposes. Are there any sort of internal alarms or anything in there in case anybody tries to climb over the top?
Well, the 8-foot height is actually to enclose our equipment because our equipment is actually about 8 feet within here, so it wouldn't stick out.
No, I
outside.
understand. A vandal or whatever, or somebody, a kid or who knows what, because that obviously is dangerous on the other side, depending on where you come into it. Is there any sort of security system for that?
No, we don't have any alarms. We have just the keypads on either side, and all of the equipment is locked. We do provide a key safe for the fire department to access the equipment with a
All
code.
right. All right, I'm not an expert in this particular area, but if you think the equipment is protected enough that should be sufficient, I don't have any problem. My main concern was the misnomer on the plan describing that as a wood fence, and really it's more of a barrier, a guardrail. And the other thing, of course, is connecting the fence. But, that's it. The other question I have is maybe a semantic thing. Is a charging station still a parking area, parking space? I guess you could be subscribed as such.
Yes, it's still a parking space. It's just a charging stall is at the base of the parking space.
All right, so now someone who is not charging can park there?
I believe we have a sign saying that there's EV parking stalls, and of course the preference is for them to not park there. I'm looking for our
All right.
sign details.
All right, because obviously there's no shortage of parking now, particularly in that area. All right, well, those are my main concerns. If you can get the fencing and have that in as a condition, I'd be in favor of the submission. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Andrews.
I have no comments right at this point.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bond.
I'm ready for final, so.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna.
Mr. One second, Mr. Chairman. Marissa, can you close your screen?
I thought she was gonna do that. Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna open this up to the public. Does anybody from the public have any questions or comments on this? Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. Anybody from the public have any questions or comments on this application? Okay, hearing none, I'm asking for a motion to close public session.
I move to close public session, Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Andrews makes a motion to close it. Do I have a second?
Mr. Bond,
Second.
Mr. Bond seconds it. Okay. Mr. Young, yes or no?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Mandel.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sweeney seconded. Okay, Mr. Dell.
Aye.
Thank
For
you.
closing the public session. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Andrews made the motion. Mr. Bond.
aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, the only thing I really see on this is they have to go to ZBA for a variance. So I'm kind of under the auspices of us moving, Ms. Slavin, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, ZBA and Akabor.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, very good. If the board has the feeling that if we were to give them finals with the conditions that they go to both ZBA and if they get finals and approvals from them, that they don't have to come back to us. If that is the board's feeling and everybody's agreeable to that, I'm looking for a motion for lead.
I'll make a motion for
Motion
lead
from Young.
agency.
Okay, Mr. Bond makes a motion for a lead agent. Do I have a second for lead agent?
Young.
Mr. Young makes a second for lead agent. Okay, we're voting. Thomas Warren, Mr. Young said aye. Mr. Mandel?
Aye.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, who, I'm sorry.
Yes, Chairman. I think we should put in one of the conditions that they extend that fence because they should have done it when it
Okay.
came in last.
Still on
Mr.
lead
Dell.
agent.
Mr. Dell, we are right now doing lead agent, then we will go into a
Oh,
neg
I'm
deck,
sorry.
then we will go into
Confused.
conditions, and at that point, if you wish, we can put it in as a condition. Okay?
Thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry. It's a little garbled coming through here. We're having a pretty bad storm, at least where I am. Thank you.
Okay, I'm trying to be as concise as possible. Okay, I think I was up to Mr. Andrews for a vote on lead agent.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bond? Oh,
Aye.
you made the motion. Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion for a neg deck?
Motion to,
Mr.
Okay, I have, everybody jump in. Mr. Bond makes the motion. Mr. Andrews seconds the motion. Okay, Thomas Warren says aye. Mr. Young?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel?
aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dell? I think it's you saying yes because your screen is shaking up and down. So I'm going to assume that as a yes. If it's a no, make it go side to side. Okay, it's not. So, okay, and Mr. Bond made the motion, and Mr. Andrews.
Aye, yeah.
Aye, okay. Now, this is a final with conditions. And the conditions are Jane Slavin's letter.
Do you need to make a motion for final first?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bond. Thank you very much. Mr. Bond makes the motion for final with conditions, and the conditions are Jane Slavin, July 20th. She has 4 items. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Bruce Peters, July 17th, has 1. Booker Engineering, July 21st, has 4. Rockland County Planning, June 25th, they have 6. Memo from Michael Betterman, Chief Fire Inspectors, he has 1 item. Rockland County Health, July 7th, they have 1 item. Okay, now Rockland County Highway Department, they dated July 9th. They have 2 items, but we're going to eliminate number 1, which says the Rockland County Highway District consents that the town of Clarkstown Planning Board serve as lead agent for continuing environmental reviews of this proposed project. This project is nowhere near the town of Clarkstown. Okay, but they still have to abide by the second item. Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, July 20th. They have 2 items. Okay, and I believe that's it. Okay, now Mr. Dell had requested that they were to install a chain link fence. I believe it's on the eastern perimeter of the parking lot, going from the main building, which is CVS, to the transformer complex. Is that what you want, Mr. Dell? Okay, Mr. Dell, I think you're gonna have to call us on the phone because we have, your microphone is off. Okay, try it.
Okay, can you hear me now, sir? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, again, little computer glitches here. Okay, they replaced almost all of the fence, which was over 50 years old and falling apart, except for a little section starting really from this building coming out. So that obviously should be replaced, and it should match the existing fence on the rear of the property. Now, how to put that a little more succinctly, that might take a minute to come out. Let's say match the new fence. Okay, why don't you just starting match the new fence on the rear of the building. And it's to start from the corner of the building and head in a northerly direction to the electrical equipment transformer.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Is everybody else on the board, I'll put it this way, if anybody else on the board disagree with what Mr. Dell has to say, please say. If not, we're gonna add that as a condition. Okay, not hearing anyone. Okay, so now I need a second on the motion for final with conditions.
Second, on the final, Mr. Mandel.
Okay, okay, I think Mr. Sweeney did it, so,
Mandel.
okay, very good. Okay, Thomas Warren says aye. Mr. Young?
I want to hear what Mr. Mandel has to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mandel, you know, you should yell at me. You're not on the screen, and
Yes,
when
I am. If you look directly above me, next to Jane Slade, you'll see me.
No, you're not there. I don't know where you are. And I miss seeing you.
I'm on the screen.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever, I don't see you. And I am not calling you, okay?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I can talk you through this. At the top of your screen,
yes.
right in the middle, you'll see a little
Yes.
pull down. It says, look who's talking, hide everyone, view everyone. Click on view everyone.
Oh,
It's
God,
4
now you want me to
boxes.
put technical stuff.
I know, but they can get to see everybody.
But I don't want to see everybody. Okay, I just hit everybody, and I still don't have.
Right, then you need to scroll down.
I gotta scroll. Oh, I see, scroll down button. Oh, God, there you are.
After 7 of these?
Oh, God. Mr.
All right.
Mandel, I apologize.
Well, all I was saying, thank you, Mr. Yep. All I was saying is that I definitely agree with Mr. Deller on the fence is needed. And then I said, I second the motion. I guess you didn't hear me.
I didn't hear you. I apologize for it. Now that we got Cheryl, we got Cheryl all screwed up, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but,
Okay, can you hear me now, though?
okay. We were doing the voting. I don't know where we left, so I'm gonna go back. Are you an aye on this?
Yes, I am. Do you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you very good. You're still a little garbled, but better. Okay.
Okay.
Sweeney,
Aye.
thank you very much. Mr. Dell is aye. Mr. Andrews? Okay.
Aye.
And Mr. Bond, thank you very much. Okay, Orangetown Shopping Center, you got your final. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yes, you too. Thank you. Let me go back up the top here.
Thank you very much.
let me try this again, because that was fun. Who's talking, activating, I mean, hiding. See, it's got everybody, but it won't make the screen any smaller. The IT department, this town's kind of slacking over here. That's another one. And I got Mr. Mandel. All right. Next item is the Club West at Pearl River. Phase 2 site plan construction trailer location. Mr. Brenner.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Donald Brenner. I'm the attorney for the project. The board remembers you gave final approval to the project for construction purposes. However, the board did request that the client comes back to show the location of the construction vehicle or whatever we're going to call it. He has located the situation. We've given him drawings locating the situation. I have with me tonight the engineer for the project from John Myers, Diego, and I have Mr. Charles Thomas, who's representing the owner. We think it's pretty straightforward. We've shown you where it is, and we'd like to get approval so we get this project moving.
Thank you, sir. I'll go through the comments now. Office of Building, Zoning, and Planning, Jane Slavin, July 10th. Her comment is no comment. Environmental Management and Engineering, Bruce Peters, July 17th. They have one comment. Let me read it. The applicant/applicant's engineering is reminded that the proposed location of the construction trailer cannot become a construction entrance into the site. If the applicant will like a construction entrance at this location, the SWPPP and a soil erosion sediment control plans must be formally updated and amended.
Okay. We have no problem with that. I don't believe it. We're only here for the trailer. In fact, the entrance to the site may be elsewhere. If it is going to be that way, we will conform to Mr. Peters' requirement.
Thank you very much, sir. I also have a letter from Michael Betterman. Cheryl, I have no objection to the location of the construction trailer for the Club West project, and that was dated July 1st. And that is all. Cheryl, anything else?
That's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Young.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Brenner, will that trailer also be a security trailer as well during the off hours?
I really don't know, Mr. Young. There may be a different service that may be working out of the parking lot. That's something, would you know, Mr. Thomas, whether security would be working out of there?
Okay.
Typically, no, the security won't work out of there. They just come through and they park in their car and sit in the yard for us when we do need them.
They will not be in the trailer.
No.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. That's all I had. I have no problem with the location. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. That guy I can't find. Oh, Mr. Mandel.
Good evening, Chairman. No, I have no objection. Any question about the trailer has been answered. I have no problem with the site.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Sweeney.
It's pretty straightforward, no comments.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dell.
Thank you, sir. My comment is no comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Andrews.
I have no comments.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bond.
No comment.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to open up to the public. Anybody from the public wish to make any question or comments on this application? Again, I'm opening up to the public. Anybody wish to make any questions or comments on this application?
Make a
Okay,
motion
here.
to close the public forum.
Okay, Mr. Sweeney makes a motion to close the public forum. Do I have a second?
Mr. Andrews seconds.
Mr. Andrews, second. Okay, I'm going down the line. Mr. Warren says aye. Mr. Young.
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel.
Mr. Mandel, aye.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sweeney says aye. Mr. Dell.
Mr. Dell says aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews says aye. Mr. Bond?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The public session is closed. Again, I think that, it was advertised as final, so I think we can go ahead and give them a final. Now, do we have to reaffirm CEQA? Rick?
Yeah, I think it's always a good idea to reaffirm secret.
Okay, because I know it was just this minor one condition that we're changing, and basically it wasn't a change. So you suggest we reconfirm it, reaffirm it.
By reaffirming, basically what that says is that there's been no changes that changed your previous secret determination. So it doesn't hurt.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I need a motion for lead agent.
Mr. Mandel.
Young,
You don't have to.
I'll make a motion for lead agent.
Just need a
Okay.
resolution reaffirming.
Okay, make a motion to reaffirm CEQA.
Mr. Mandel.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to reaffirm CEQA.
Okay, Mr. Mandel makes a motion to reaffirm CEQA. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bond seconds. Okay, I'm going down the roll call. Thomas Warren, aye. Mr. Young, second. Mr. Mandel made the motion. Mr. Sweeney?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dell?
Mr. Dell says aye.
Thank you, sir. Plus your television was going up and down, so I got it both times. Okay, Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond? Okay,
Aye.
thank you. Okay, you got your final. Thank you, sir.
That was
Thank you.
just secret. That was just secret.
Oh, that was just sequel. Oh, okay. You guys are
I'll
slow.
make a motion for final with conditions. Sweeney.
Mr. Sweeney makes a motion for final with condition. I gotta get the whole package out again now. Wait a minute. Okay, and the conditions are Jane Slavin, July 10th, no comment. Okay, Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, July 17th, they have one item, and Mr. Brenner said he would take care of that. Mike Betterman, July 1st, has no comment, no objections, and that's it. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Mandel.
Mr. Mandel seconds, okay. Again, all in favor, Thomas Warren, aye. Mr. Young?
aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney?
So let's hope you're on a easier.
I made the motion.
I think Mr. Mandel made the motion, if I'm not.
No, Mr. Sweeney made the motion, I seconded it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, then Mr. Sweeney can't vote twice. Okay, Mr. Dell?
Dell says aye. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay, that's it, right? Did we good on that one? All right, next. So that's final.
All right, everybody, take care.
All
Bye-bye.
right, thank you
Thank you
very much.
for your time. Have a good night.
Yes, thank you. We have HKC drainage, no, yeah, Don Brunner, HKC drainage improvement plan. That's Henry Kaufman. For lack of better, that's other business. You people drive me crazy over here. Wanting to get out to the pool. It's raining, so I can't do that. Oh, God. Mr. Brenner.
Yes, good evening again. I'm the attorney for HKC. This project actually it's a project which the client is trying to help out with the community. The people are well aware of the fact that there are flooding problems on Sickletown Road. The client said when he started the project, he would work with the community, he will meet with the community and try to come up with some way to relieve the drainage problem which existed on Sickletown Road and flooded some properties on Sickletown Road. I have with me tonight the engineer, the owner, and the manager of the property who actually operates the facility in Pearl River. It is a interesting design, what they're doing. Well, primarily, I'll have the engineer explain it to you. I just want everybody to know that the client is committed to do this. It's a very expensive project, and he's going to do it because he promised the community they would do it. And I think Troy maybe would like to explain the project to the board right now, and then we'll see how we're going to handle it after that. So Troy, take over.
Thanks, Don. I'm Troy Wojciechowski with Stantec, the civil engineer for the applicant. Since our last submission a few months ago, I figured I'd just kind of give you the quick rundown on the purpose of the project and just a general description of the project. Jane, did you just send me a share permission? It popped up on my screen, so I'll just keep
Yes,
that.
I made you a presenter, Troy, if you need to use this.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just keep that, and if we need to show the plan, I can pull that up. So as Don kind of gave you the real brief on, historically, there's four or five properties along Sickletown Road that are between the street and the applicant's property, and it's at a low point along the property. So there's been historic conditions of sheet flow runoff that comes from the camp property through these residential properties along Sickletown Road. And there's also a drainage ditch or swale that runs through the camp property. It starts on the camp property and runs through 81 Sickletown Road property. So we, as part of our master plan and our, all of our projects that we've been presenting to the planning board, we've received a lot of input from the neighbors on all sides. And on this side, their focus has been, stormwater runoff from the property historically. So what we've proposed with this project, which we named the Sickletown Storm Basin Improvements, is a dry detention basin, and the purpose isn't related to any of the master plan improvements that we're proposing. We recently received site plan approval for Bronx House site plan, and I understand the phase 2 site plans are currently before the board. So this is a standalone project that is presented in good faith by the applicant and the owner, UJA, to try to mitigate and try to improve a historic situation it's only gotten worse over time because of global warming, the higher intensity of rainfall events that have occurred over time. So this project is a dry detention basin that will cut off approximately 10 acres of runoff that currently runs through these four properties, 81 through 87 Sickletown Road properties. It cuts off about 10 acres of that flow and redirects it into this dry detention basin that temporarily holds the runoff, and then basically, I'll in layman's terms, kind of throttles the water to a different point on Sickletown Road. It's actually to the north of UJA's entrance. There's two crossings on Sickletown Road, which is a county highway. One is to the north of the entrance, and the one to the south is right in front of 81 Sickletown Road. So this actually physically takes 10 acres of runoff, takes it away from these properties, and sends it to the north crossing under Sickletown Road through culverts and a closed storm system. Since our last submission, we took care of some engineering details that Bruce Peters had asked us to take a look at. Access berms, some other kind of technical details. But they also asked us to take a look at other alternatives that might be possible on the property, particularly that might help reduce flows further from that drainage swale that goes through the 81 Sickletown property. So we did look at other alternatives. We looked at detention basin in a different part of the property. We looked at redirecting some of the flows from the stream into the current basin. And basically what happened was none of those alternatives were feasible. directing directing some of the flows from that stream into this basin basically overwhelms it. So it would send too much water to the North County culvert crossing that it wouldn't be acceptable to DEC or to the county. So we had to discount that. And other areas of the camp just simply didn't have the real estate for us to build a basin that could handle flows from that stream effectively. So the current basin really makes sense where it is from a hydraulic standpoint because it's at a low point of the property. So it captures the maximum amount of water that we can and get it to the north culvert crossing. It also really cuts off flow almost completely to 3 properties, 83, 85, 87, and it reduces flows to 81 as well, which receives flows by sheet flow from our property and also in that swale. What else can I tell you? So this design that you see now, which we did present last time, is really a balancing act. It was through several meetings we had with residents along Sickletown Road, and actually we had open meetings to residents around the property to get their input. So what we feel is we struck a balance with this basin. It's a balance of stormwater mitigation or improving that situation while still maintaining buffers, wooded buffers to the properties along Sickletown Road. I think that's what I really have to say. I mean, we are committed. I guess I want to stress that we are committed. The applicant's committed to building this project, within their phase 1, essentially. So we're hopeful that we can, please the planning board and get through preliminary so that we can move on to ACOBOR and then come back to your board for final approval. So our hope is that we can get this constructed, by spring if all goes well. It's a significant financial commitment by the applicant, who's a not-for-profit entity. And I think with that, unless any of my teammates on the call feel I missed anything, I can send it back to the chairman.
Have you estimated the cost of this construction?
Yes, a site contractor provided an estimate, and it exceeds $500,000.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
I'm sorry. How much was that?
We have an estimate of 540,000 was an estimate we received from a site contractor.
Thank you, Troy.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Brenner, anything else?
No, I think this is primarily, I think it's going to really straighten out a problem which has been there for many, many years. I think 20 years or something like that. We work with we actually got permission from the county to have this basin discharge into their pipe, which crosses Sickletown Road. It's a very delicate area because of the reservoir, and it's a good design. If you take a look at it, you'll see it's a very good design.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me go through the consultant's reports. Office of Building, Zoning and Planning, July 10th, Jane Slavin. She has 2. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Bruce Peters, July 16th. He has 6. Booker Engineering, July 20th. Drainage review recommendation. Drainage calculations have been provided that demonstrate potential significant impact with respect to drainage have been mitigated. We therefore recommend that the Henry Kaufman Campground Site Plan, Sickletown Road drainage improvements be approved for drainage subject to the above project comments, of which there are 10. Okay, and I believe I have a letter from Stantec, which is basically a narrative, and I believe there are responses to questions that were placed by the board and different consultants prior to that. And I believe, that letter was dated June 23rd. And I believe that's all, because Cheryl, I think everything else has been read in, hasn't it?
That's correct. The December 11th items were already read into the record.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to go through the board now and see what their questions and comments are. Mr. Young,
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
thank you very much. Mr. Mandel,
No questions at this time. Thank you.
thank you. Mr. Sweeney,
I appreciate that description, Troy, and I have no questions until we hear from the public.
thank you very much. Mr. Dell,
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank the applicant for giving a good plan, but also to Troy, your description of what the detention basin actually does was very accurate. Many times we don't get that impression given to the board members or the public because it's not reducing the amount of water, it's just releasing it over a longer period of time. What you have there is most of this is within your own property, and it's a de facto campus situation. So a lot of the questions I might ask don't have to be asked, but it looks like a effort, and I want to hear what the public has to say. But from what I could see, well done. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
thank you very much. Mr. Andrews,
I would like to thank the applicant for considering the public and doing a good job. Thank you. No other comments.
thank you very much. Mr. Bond,
No, everything looks good to me. Thanks.
thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to the public. Anybody from the public wish to make any comments, question or comments on this?
This is Kevin McCormack from 83 Sickletown Road
Yes,
in
go ahead.
Orangeburg. I wanted to say first that we spoke last at one of the other meetings about the wood chip pile. And just to re-clarify from the last meeting, we did meet with Kevin Curran and Dave Schmelzer and Ari a few weeks ago, and they have removed the wood chip pile, which was important and looks much better. We do, however, still want to reiterate and feel that the expansion of the area, of that area and the flattening of it out and the taking down of trees around it, we think is contributing to additional runoff on our property, and we hope that the new drainage plan will fix this. Mainly though, we've been attending these meetings for over 12 years, the town board, the planning board, the zoning board, to talk about drainage. We have neighbors who have talked about this for 25 and 35 years. And many of you on the planning board who have been here a while saw our pictures of how drastic the water runoff is, and it's only gotten worse since we've been here. We've also met with the campground in groups and individually to show them the serious impact of the drainage. And we're very happy that they listened to hopefully come up with some solutions. We're certainly very happy in the long run that the town and the campground and the United Jewish Federation understand the magnitude of the drainage issues. We're happy that you all listened, and we really appreciate it. We know that any solution is not going to be perfect, but thankfully we think we've made a lot of progress and we're going in the right direction. We've said all along that we want Henry Kaufman Campground to remain a camp, to improve their facilities and to be successful. That's always been our goal. And we know much work has gone into the plans, and we appreciate them going back and forth and making a lot of changes and modifications after listening to us. And most importantly, thank you very much for listening to us and to our neighbors. I am a little disappointed to hear that the drainage plan is not going to have a drastic impact on 81 Sickletown Road. The Beers family has lived here for many, many years, and the water drainage has most impacted them for many years, and it's very disappointing to hear that that's not going to be all that much improved. I want to thank everybody on the board here for listening and for the job that you do from being at these meetings every week. I can see what a challenging thing that you do, and it's very appreciative of all your time and effort that you put into this and how you do listen. So I want to end with one question, and that is, what happens if this drainage plan is not effective and doesn't work to the degree that the engineers and the experts say that it is? What would be the plan going forward if there still continues to be an issue? So thank you very much for listening, and that's all that I have today.
Thank you very much. Hopefully you're not gonna have to worry about it once this is done. Like you said, nothing is perfect. I think the applicant has gone and made remarkable strides to resolve part of this. Our consultants, drainage consultants, have looked at this, and I believe between the two of them, hopefully they've come up with a workable project that will really help you guys. That's all we can really say right now. We just, like you said, nothing's perfect, so we can only do the best we can. Okay, is there anybody else in the public that wishes to speak on this this project? Okay, one more time. Anybody else from the public that wishes to speak on the Henry Kaufman Campground project? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion to close public session, Mr. Mandel.
Mr. Mandel makes a motion to close the public session. Do I have a second?
Sweeney, second.
Mr. Sweeney seconds. Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Warren, yes. Mr. Young?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel will make the motion. Mr. Sweeney second. Mr. Dell?
Aye.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I got the up and down, Mr. Dell. Thank you. Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond?
Aye.
Thank you. So do we want to go with, I think we can go with preliminary with the minor things that are here. So with that said, I'd like to have a motion for lead agent.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mandel, this one question. You explained how the drainage was going to reduce the sheet flow at 81 Sickletown. Is there any way to end the sheet flow there? Is the only thing that can be done is reduce? Can you explain the drainage as it affects 81 Sickletown?
This is Troy from Stantec. It was a little hard to understand that. It was kind of muffled, but I think the question was related to 81 Sickletown. So the current basin and cutoff swale, based on the calculations, will reduce flows to 81 Sickletown by just a little bit less than 20%. So there is a reduction there for sure. It's not, because some of this area contributes to that swale within the Beer property, within 81 Sickletown Road, and also further back in the camp. And part of our project cuts off an upper portion of the camp that contributes into that swale and directs it directly into our basin. So 81 Sickletown is certainly pretty consistent with the percent reduction in flows, even compared to the other properties. So we feel that it's a good reduction. If that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Where was I?
Motion for lead agency.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go through the voting again. I don't know who did what. Okay, I said aye. Mr. Young? We have to do this
Aye,
again,
Mr.
'cause I got
Young.
lost. I apologize. Okay, aye. Mr. Mandel made the motion, I believe. Mr. Sweeney seconded. Mr. Dell? Okay, he says aye. His computer's shaking all over the place. Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, motion for deck.
I'll make a motion.
Who was that, please?
It was Young. Bond second. Bond will second.
And Bond was second. Okay, Warren, aye. Mandel?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dell?
Aye, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm looking for a motion for preliminary with conditions.
I'll make the motion for preliminary with conditions, Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Andrews makes a motion for preliminary with condition, and the conditions are Jane Slavin, July 10th, 2. Office of Department of Environmental Management, Bruce Peters, July 16th, at 6. Booker Engineering, July 20th, they have 10. And that is it. Do I have a second? Yes,
Tom,
ma'am.
you need to go over the December 11th letters.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I also have Stantec's June 23rd narrative. I'm sorry. And, okay, let me go. Which one did you say? July what? Because I had December.
December 11th,
Okay.
prior meeting.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, I'm just gonna go down this list because I have stuff that's just kind of messed up here. I apologize for it, but, let me copy you. I have, Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, December 6th letter. I have to find the end of that. They have,
That letter was superseded.
okay. Cheryl, I have a mess here. Please forgive me for a moment. I'm trying to dig this out.
You should start with Rockland County Planning Letter of November 27th, 2019.
Okay, wait a minute. I have, if I can find it. That's my problem. Rockland County Highway, second, you said? Okay,
Rockland County Planning.
yeah, I know, but I have Rockland County Highway, December 2nd. They have 2 items. Rockland County Drainage, December 9th. The narrative. And that's all I have. I'm sorry, I don't have the rest of that. Forgive me.
Rockland County Planning, November 27th, 2019.
Okay, could you
Rockland
just,
County-
just put that in, Cheryl? I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Okay, Rockland County Health, December 3rd.
No, I don't have any of that. I just,
Rockland County Sewer, December 5th, 2019. And that's it.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks. Okay,
I'll second that. Sweeney.
okay, Mr. Sweeney. Okay, all in favor? Warren, aye. Mr. Young?
Young says aye.
Thank you. Mr. Mandel?
Mr. Mandel says aye.
Okay, thank you. Sweeney?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dell?
Mr. Dell says aye, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bond?
All right.
Thank you very much. You got it, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen, have a good summer. We still got a little bit more work.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Helen Chun is here. Are you still there? Because I saw you there the whole meeting. No, I guess, because I see her name is up on it, because I think she's involved with the Tweed Boulevard. Didn't come down. All right.
Yeah, I'm here still. Hi, how
Oh,
are you?
I'm sorry, are you involved with the Tweed Boulevard?
Yes.
I had
Yeah,
said at
yeah.
the meeting that it was not gonna be heard, that it was gonna be heard in September 9th.
Okay, so it's postponed to September 9th. This,
Correct. I'm sorry you didn't hear that, and that you stayed for the whole meeting. I apologize.
that's, no problem. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good summer and have a good night.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
too. Thank you very much. All right. Unless there's more, I just have the proposals on the traffic studies. I know there was some concern with some of the board members that they want a complete new and improved traffic study. My only comment is at this point, I think the traffic flows are down with the corona. The school buses are not out. I think less people are traveling the roads. So my personal opinion is to allow whichever consultant that we want it to do it, just to do the actual proposal that we've gotten and review it and see if they have any questions or comments on it. That's just my idea. If anybody else has anything on it, please let me know.
Yeah, Mr. Mandel here, Chairman. I think we have to use the old figures because I don't see any change in traffic flow that will give us any better numbers now, and we don't know if that's going to go into next year. So I think that the consulting firms that we were thinking of hiring, I think that they could come out with a proper decision based upon the prior numbers.
Okay, well, nobody's going to be 100% on it. They're just going to go through it and they're going to just kind of think, saying, well, this is what it's going on now. How, at what ratio is going to improve, get larger. Nobody knows. It's kind of a guess. But I think the reason for this is we have two applicants that want to do it. So what do we want to do? Do we want to give it to them and let them review the existing traffic study? Or do we want to have them do a new traffic study, which I think would really be a waste of time and I don't think would get the right amount of information? Because like I said, I think traffic flow is down now. School buses, all those school buses are still sitting there. None of them are out. People aren't working, so the roads are not being traveled. It's the board's decision. What do we want to do? Mr. Dell, go ahead.
Yes, I agree that some of the traffic may be down, but we don't. I think part of the problem that we had, even the applicant admitted that maybe their equipment wasn't working all the time. I'd like to see a new one because then at least we know and we will have done our due diligence. But otherwise, they say that numbers don't lie. It's been my experience. They lie all the time. I'd like to see a new data set. And if it says that the numbers are lower, that's fine. But if they start saying some of the numbers are higher, then I think we got to take a closer look at what's going on here. I think the vendor's approach to this is more than warranted because of the way the community feels and the potential effect this could have on all of the trail. So I think we should go the full one and do it and see where it comes out.
Okay, if I may just say something, is that Maston did the traffic study. They did the original study on July 24th of 2019. They had a revised, again, we were in normalcy at that time. They had a revised traffic study on February 15th, 2020. Again, we were kind of in a normalcy. Now they had a supplement on March 9th, and now this is where we start to get into the corona pandemic. So I know that the numbers probably changed a little bit. My fear is that if we go ahead and have them do a study, and I kind of have this feeling, I mean, I'm not a mind reader, is that the numbers are going to be lower. Because first of all, part of the study is the buses were part of the study. The buses are sitting there. They're not going in and out. So that's one equation of the traffic study that's not going to become part of the picture. If you look at, I think some of those factories on that road, I think they're not open. So you're not going to get people going back and forth to work. You're getting a lot of people who are working from home now that aren't traveling on these roads. So I think the numbers are going to be way, way down. If we were to have do a new study and base our decisions on a new study, are we really doing ourselves justice where the numbers may be that far down that it's really not germane? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, I agree with basically a lot of what you're saying, but it's based on a supposition, not on hard evidence. I'd rather see data. The other thing is that obviously this area is going to be impacted. You're going to have some impact from Amazon. You're going to have some impact from some of the other things that are happening in the area. And I think we should just take a look at it. And if it is lower, okay, fine. We would expect that. But again, and if it's not lower and there's some issues, then I think we then would have to obviously take an even closer look. But my feeling is the way we represented it to the community was that's what we were going to do. And I think now at this point to not do that based upon probably very valid empirical evidence, but not valid statistical evidence, would not be doing what we promised. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Just to answer one of your questions, I don't think we're going to see a large increase of traffic because of Amazon. Amazon's not going to be anywhere near this place. They maybe get 1 or 2 delivery trucks per day on that road, but you're not going to see a large amount of trucks on that road. All right. Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, okay, excuse me. Hold on, Mr. Yeah, okay. Jane, go ahead.
That's okay. I think it's the thunderstorms. It's messing you up a little tonight, Tom.
Okay.
We do have the traffic study that Amazon presented, which was, not sure the exact date it was done, but they received the performance standards approval in December. So we could also share that study with the study that was done for the Greenbush Road project with the consultant and have them look at those numbers together. And the idea, I think what we were looking at with this is it's sort of a tough position to be in to stall this project because COVID happened. They're not being allowed to move forward because we're holding it up for a traffic study. But how long can we do that? It's a use permitted by right. They reduced all their variances. I mean, they've really been trying to work towards compliance, and this was the last step. So we were looking at it as if we have a couple of studies that we can utilize, we can have a consultant that reports back to the board, they review the numbers, and if they see any issues with the numbers as presented, the reports that have already been done, they can say, yes, we need to have another one done, or they can give you a good report and say everything looks good and here's why. So I think that's what we're thinking about here in an effort to move this applicant forward if possible. I mean, it's not, we're on what, 6 months they've been sitting there now? So they're going to come back at one point and say, we got to move this forward, and they can't be punished because of COVID. So we're trying to come up with a solution to get the information and get the board the information they need to make a decision. So that was the hope with getting these estimates, proposals from the consultants. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree with you, because if we do a study now because of culvert, we're going to give the public a false narrative when the traffic goes back. I think we should have the traffic advisors that are here, like you said, let them study the ones that have already been done and take it from there. But if we do a study right now with the traffic down, that's gonna give a false narrative to the public.
Okay, we have two. I think the best thing to do right now is I'm going to poll the board, and I want to see what the board wants to do. Okay. Myself, is I feel that we should take the studies that we have now and have one of the other these companies look at it, okay? So that's my opinion, to take the existing studies. Okay, Mr. Young.
I'm in agreement with Mr. Andrews and with Jane and yourself, Mr. Chairman. If we do have to do a study, I would go with, what is ARKF? AKRF. Since they haven't had a dog in this fight yet, so, but I'm in agreement with you. Let's compare the two that we have in hand with Amazon and with Chase.
Okay, as to which consultants we'll use, we're gonna get back to that. I just want to know if we want to go with using the existing report or having a new report. Okay, so Mr. Young, you're saying that you would like to use the existing traffic study.
I would like to use the existing one, and I wouldn't mind using the Amazon one as a.
Okay, thank you very much. That's an excellent idea. Mr. Mandel.
I have no problems with using the prior studies as long as the company that we hire comments on the prior study. Was it complete? Did it cover all the bases? If there were omissions that should have been covered, it should be part of their comments on the study when they return it back to us. For them to just use the numbers that they gave without commenting on the quality of the original study, I think leaves us a little bit in the dark still. If that's part of it, then I think that the prior studies would be effective.
Okay, because most of that was mobile. Let me just answer one question, yes or no. Do you want to use the existing study, yes or no?
Yes, if.
Well, we don't know if, we have to, okay. He wants to use the existing study. I'm sorry, thank you. Mr. Sweeney.
Once the existing study, people that review the study confirm that it was a proper and complete study.
Well, that's what we hope with whichever one we pick, the consultants we pick, we hope that's what they're gonna do.
Okay, and that they comment if there are omissions or errors.
Right, they will speak to the quality of the information provided. If anything is missing, they'll be expected to let us know.
Thank you, Director.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Sweeney.
I'm going to give a quick existing study.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Dell, you want a new study?
Yes, I think you should. And also to, no one wants to punish them for COVID, but no one wants to reward them. The problem that I see is what happens if the consultant comes back to us and says, oh, based on the studies you have, we need more information. Then they may have to start a study then. I think it's best to just let them do it, see what they've got, and then if they agree, then combine all the other three, then we'll really know what's going on. But if we don't do that, we're going to be guessing. And I think this is not a situation where we want to be guessing, particularly if any litigation comes out of this from the homeowners. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now I got kind of lost on that.
I'll start again if you'd like.
No, don't do the whole thing. Bottom line, do you want a new study or use the existing? That's what we're trying to determine right now.
The new study and see the incorporation of the existing study. But yes, that.
Oh, yeah, of course, they would do that. Okay, so you want a new study. Okay, very good. Mr. Andrews, would you like to use the existing study to give consultants, or would you like to have them do an entirely new traffic study?
Existing study. Like I said, we'll give them a false negative if we go with a new one.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. New traffic study or use the existing?
Existing study.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1 in respect to using the existing traffic study. Okay, now the question is, which consultants do we want to use? I assume everybody has gotten the information from Cheryl for the two applicants or the two consultant firms. I'm going to again go down the line one at a time and ask you who you want to do the study. Cheryl, you got to get ready to write down because I'm going to get screwed up on all of this, okay? Mr. Young, who would you like to do the study with?
I'm with AKRF.
Okay, AKRF, okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mandel?
I'm with Jason.
Okay, Chisholm. Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Sweeney?
AKRF.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Dell?
AKRF, and besides that, they've got a Cooper grad working for them.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. Andrews?
AKRF.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond?
AKRF.
Thank you, sir. And I vote for AKRF. So it is 6-1, having AKRF do the restudy the existing traffic study. Okay. Anything else? I got one real quick thing. I was going to be down by the pool, but it's pouring rain, so that I can't do it. I want to wish. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, the town board referral.
Oh yeah, that's I didn't print that out. Oh God, I'm gonna get yelled at. Damn. What's this one? No, I gotta find it.
The chairman, it's the temporary, revising the code to allow for temporary storage of vehicles for the commercial car industry.
Right. Okay.
That's what you're looking for. It's dated July 10th.
Okay. My computer, my laptop, iPad just froze. I can't believe it. And I can't get that. I know it's here. I hate computers. Did I tell anybody here that I hate computers? Well, I'll reiterate. I hate computers. Still won't go. I can't get access to the letter. Mr. Young, could you please read that letter for us, please?
Yes, sir. Let me pull it up. That was the letter. Bear with me one second.
Cheryl, you sent it yesterday, right?
Yeah, I got the
I have it
darn
here.
thing.
I have it. It's an 8-page letter dated July 10th from Rosanna Sefriga. Pursuant to municipal law 239-I-L&M, please enclose the referral form supporting documents. Encloses the lead agency circulation form from the town board indicating its intent as act as lead agency with respect to this code change. To the extent we are able to respond on the issue of lead agency status prior to the expiration of 30 days, your cooperation would be appreciated. That was July 10th to the Orangetown Planning Board. Second page is letter in regards to referral / amendment to the Town Code, Chapter 43, Article 4, Special Permit, Temporary Outdoor Storage of Vehicles, and SECRA Lead Agency Determination. The Town Board of the Town of Orangetown, Rockland County, New York is hereby notifying you that it is at its meeting held July 10th, the Town Board adopted a resolution in connection with the proposed action, to wit, a proposed change to the Town Code Special Permit, outdoor storage of vehicles, declaring its intention to act as lead agency under SECRA, making a preliminary determination that the proposed action is an unlisted act under SECRA. Number 3, directing that SECRA letter be circulated to Rockland County Planning Department for GML review and to the Orangetown Board for its review and recommendation under the Town Code. board has determined that the action proposed is subject to review under State Environmental Quality Review Act, and that action constituted an unlisted action. Town board by board of resolution has expressed its intent to serve as lead agency for the action pursuant to sections 617.6 B and C of the NYCRR, and request your agreement that it is designated. The town board further wishes to expedite the designation of the lead agency and request prompt reply. If you agree to the town board being designated lead agency, please sign this letter where below and mail or fax as soon as possible. If your agency does not submit a written objection within 30 days of mailing of this notification, the town board will assume the role of lead agency for this action. And then in close, please find a copy of proposed law, referral form to Rockland County Department of Planning. Thank you for your cooperation. All right, so you're 12 days into your 30 days, and I'll let our attorney weigh in on this.
This is basically the same circulation letter we send out. There really is no one else to be lead agency aside from the town board. They're the only ones that can change the town code. So it's pretty commonsensical that you should agree that they should be lead agency. There's really no possibility for the planning board or the ZBA or anyone else to be lead agency. So it's a pretty simple determination. Do you agree that they should be lead agency? As I said, there really is no one else that could be lead agency. They're the only authority to change the town code.
Thanks,
So I
Rick.
think it just calls for a resolution of whether the planning board agrees that the town board should be lead agency.
Okay, so do we have to make a formal resolution, Dick? All right. Or, oh, we do? Okay, Jane's saying yes. Okay. So I make a motion that we have a formal resolution that the planning board designates the town of Orangetown Town Board as lead agent in this. Is that okay?
I would just word it as agrees. It's not the planning board doesn't designate. So I think just the wording should be that the planning board agrees that the town board should be lead agency for this matter.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl, you got that? Thank you very much. Okay, I'll go down.
Second it.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Sweeney, second. Who made the motion?
You did.
Mr. Mandel made the motion. Okay, so, Warren, Young,
Young says aye. I'm just curious to know, is this in relation to the used car lots we have 303 and Middletown Road in Pearl River? But I say aye.
okay, thank you. Mr. Mandel made the motion, Mr. Sweeney, second. Okay, Mr. Dell?
Mr. Dell says aye, but it's very interesting. Take a look at the Blue Hill parking lot. You'll see it's all filled with Jaguars and other folks. Right there.
Well, Blue Hill, yeah, they got them all over there. Next week, you can go when you want. Okay, Mr. Andrews?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bond?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, anything else?
July 8th decisions.
Okay, I went through them. I had no problems. Anybody have any problems with it? No, do we have a motion to,
Motion to accept minutes from.
Mandel makes a motion to approve July 8th, minutes. Do I have a second? Mr. Andrews, second. All in favor? Warren, yes. Young, yes. Mandel made the motion. Mr. Sweeney, yes. Mr. Dell. Mickey Television, yes. Okay. Mr. Andrews, yes. Mr. Bond, yes.
Yeah.
What?
Everybody have a very good summer. We'll see you in September.
Next
Say in
meeting,
September.
September 9th.
Mr. Chairman. Mr.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes.
a question, Mr. Mandel. Town board meeting that they have in person. Are we gonna have in-person meetings coming September? And if so, it should be in the new courthouse.
I didn't catch it. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got it. He wants to know if there's gonna be in-person meetings in September. We're not sure yet, and we're working on that. Right now, I think, and Rick can reinforce this, I think the order right now allows us to go through August 5th remotely. My guess is that's going to be extended considering what is happening in the rest of the country. But we don't know that yet. But we'll have to make that determination by sometime in the middle of August so that we can send out the notices for the September meetings. But at this point, we don't have any protocols in place other than what the town board's been doing, and we would have to work around all the schedules of all the other boards. So we honestly haven't worked it out yet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mandel, do me a favor, in the intro, have somebody look at your computer, because really, your voice is really very muffled.
What'd you say? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, don't be smarty now.
No, serious. You're breaking up on me.
Seriously,
Mr.
what happened?
Mandel, give me a call and we'll talk about your computer.
Thank you, Jane. Appreciate it.
My statement was, have somebody look at it.
Have a good summer, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Okay, we did close the meeting, right? And we voted and everything? If not, Cheryl, just put anything down you want.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Just give me an adjournment.
Adjourned.
We're adjourned. We voted on it, everybody agreed.
Everybody's in favor.
Okay, got it.
This way you get into the paperwork too.
After all
Listen.
that, we're in a rush now, I guess.
Ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen, this has been great. It's really worked out good. Everybody done their due diligence on this. Like I said before, the people in the building department, I'm not mentioning anybody's name because I'll probably forget somebody. And I wouldn't want to do that, but I think that they've done a fantastic job. We've gotten our stuff on time. It's been right. There's been nothing wrong. And I don't think we can ask for anything more than that. All right. So with that said, bye y'all. See you in September.